In our previous video, we discussed how employer respond to your career break. So if you haven't watched it, I will link it in the description below. Hi there, I'm Khadijat and you're welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. In our last video, we discussed some number and we also talked about the fact that you are entitled to designing your life however you want, and you should not feel societal or corporate pressure to continue working even when that's not what you want to do. So when you want to take a career break, we just know you would have to be more intentional about how you take the break. You will have to be strategic about it. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing things that I've learned on how to take a strategic career break. A break that is not just about your rest, but it's also about realigning the important part of your life and creating foundation for the next chapter. Let's get into it. First, let's address the guilt. I know it's there. I have been there. When I started my career break, I was actually guilty about everything. I was guilty about how I knew that was going to affect my income, and I was not going to be showing up financially in my family the way I used to anymore. uh, I thought about how my employer wanted me to stay. And even when I said I didn't want to stay, I didn't want to be an employee anymore, they offered to be my client on freelance basis. And I still turned that down because even the clients that I had at that time, I was trying to figure out how to complete the project as soon as possible so I can truly take the rest that I needed. You would feel guilty. The society will actually make you feel guilty. If you say it out loud to some people that you are taking a career break, they will ask questions. Why? I want to let you know that for some people, there is no reason that can be good enough, because they believe if you are ambitious enough, if you have big dreams, if you are hardworking enough, nothing actually matters. Not that probably you're burnt out, not that your health is deteriorating, the fact that you can still stand up, talk, or I don't know, show up. For some people, they might still think, yeah, you are still capable to continue to grind. You are just being lazy. You could have put your children in a daycare or something like that if you're taking the break because of your children. There is never, you will see people who will tell you the story of when they were doing it all together and they crushed it. So feeling guilty is normal, but how I want you to see it, and what also made a difference for me when I stopped feeling guilty about taking a break, was when I started realizing this time is an investment in myself and I deserve it more than anything else. Everybody that I've showed up for, everything, every responsibility that I've taken care of in the past, I had done that for other people. If I have to do this for myself so that I can be able to continue to show up for them in the future, I don't think I should owe anybody any apology for that. So I reached a place in my mind where I believe that this is what is best for me in having more clarity on how to move on with my life, and also, of course, to get well and become a better version of myself, to have a well balanced work life situation. Even if it's not perfect, I knew the way I was doing it was wrong. So something had to change. So I will implore you to take a step back and think about all that you deserve as well. So if you're feeling guilty, it's very usual. However, it doesn't negate the fact that you needed to take this step in the first place, and that's why you even considered it. You might still even be questioning yourself, is career break what is next in my life? Well, if you have been breaking down a lot, you have been going through a lot of health issues that Some doctors will tell you everything is perfect, but nothing is perfect because you know yourself. Or you have been dealing with some chronic illness that are stress related, inflammation related, you know. Even when you go on diet, when you live this life, exercise, do all those things that they say you should do, is one important aspect that a lot of us ignore, which is the rest aspect, the mental alignment aspect, the mental wellness aspect. And if you are not there, if you don't figure out a way to do that, to cut back on the things that stress you, and if your job is one of those things that stress you, it's time to let it go. Or maybe you just lack motivation. You cannot see reason why you have to continue to go through that 9 to 5 grind or whatever it is you're doing in your job, or your goals are just misaligned. There may be a situation where, yes, you are working, you might even have somebody else's dream job, but unfortunately, you can't still sleep well at night because you're not doing the things that you truly want to do with your life. And it's becoming a problem. Everything is not about money. Money is good, money is necessary, but it shouldn't be the reason why you continue to live an unfulfilled life and feel like you're stuck forever. So if you feel like it's time to take that break, take that break. Now, as for everything, you need to plan ahead. Failure to plan is planning to fail. So if you're taking a career break, you're going to have to plan before you even turn in your letter. So there are 4 aspects of the planning that I'm going to discuss. Number 1, you need to define your goal. See, you can't just take a break and that's it. I just want to be out of work. Out of work for what reason? I'm sure, of course, before you decide to take a break, you already know why you are taking the break. But then you need to get deeper into the why. So that when you take the break, that moment of guilt will not last. If you are not really sure on why or the goals that you are setting for this break period, you're going to feel negative comments from onlookers much more deeply because you might even think maybe they are right. Maybe what they are saying is true. Maybe it's because you're not motivated enough. Maybe because you're not strong enough. But if you're very clear of your goal right from the beginning, these opinions would not even affect you. It will not affect you to the point where it takes away from all that you need to enjoy during your time off. Number 2, you need to set a timeline. Set a timeline. I know things can change, and sometimes we are not even in control of the reason why we are taking the break. So for someone who has health issue right now, it might be difficult to say, this is the moment when I'll be able to go back to work or something like that. But still have it in mind. At least you can make it a prayer point if that is the case. However, to just go off knowing that you want to go back at some point, but you don't know the point at which you want to go back, or you don't have anything in mind about when it should be the time to go back, it's dangerous to do because you will find that you are wasting a lot of time, or you will find that the things you were supposed to do in preparation for resumption when you are ready to go back, you have not been able to do it because you've spent a lot of time thinking you still have more time, but then you didn't have more time. Plan financially. So here is the thing. Sometimes it's out of our hand. It's out of our control. It's just something we had to do spontaneously. But if you have your way, I would suggest that you save some money or put some money aside in preparation for your career break. Maybe you're already on a career break and you didn't do anything like that. It's not the end of the world. The fact that you're seeing this video now means that God has something in store for you. If money is very important during your career break, you need to think ahead of where that money is going to be coming from, saving ahead for that raining day. There are different ways to make money. online, and I will be interested in that. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and come back, turn on the notification bell so that when other videos come up, you can be notified. Upskilling is something you will need to do. If you ever felt like there is a tiny bit chance that you would go back to work, you need to do something extra. You need to learn something new. You need to improve on some skills that you already have. Many people who go on career break don't usually come back on the same career path. A lot of people actually pivot, they transition to a new career path, and that is a perfect opportunity for you, because the reason is, I think it's enough time you were able to step back and reevaluate the whole thing and see that, okay, if I'm going back to work, if I'm going to do this 9 to 5 again, this is how I want it done. And then you see that the career path you're on doesn't really align with what you fantasize your life is going to be. So you find another option. So during this career break will be, of course, the perfect time to learn new skills. But even if you're going back to that same career path, you need to understand that the industry is not waiting for you. The world will keep moving while you're gone. So you need to stay in the knowing. You need to know what is trending in your career, and how to also make sure that you are keen into important skills. By the time you come back, it will be difficult for employers to ignore your profile. We also realized from the data that we analyzed in our previous video, that employers, they appreciate when you take career break for upskilling more than for anything else. Upskilling can be stressful as well. So you're going to need to think about what form of upskilling can you fit into whatever other personal stuff is going on in your life while you are taking the career break in the first place. Whether for now, speaking about how you should not crawl into a cave because you are on a career break, how to still stay relevant in your industry if you think you are going back to that same career path, or how to still continue to stay visible even if you're building towards a different career path. A common fear in taking career break for a lot of us is the fear of falling behind. Our colleagues will have moved on, and then it will be like we're left behind in life. I have 3 things that I would suggest that you should do if you're taking a career break and you want to still stay relevant. Number 1, update your LinkedIn profile as you go. As professionals, or as a career person, or a worker, you know what LinkedIn is. I don't think there's any employer that is not interested in your LinkedIn profile these days. So be updating your LinkedIn profile. I'm not saying you should become a content creator on LinkedIn. However, updating your activities, your career related activities, your upskilling related activities is very important, because it actually will be what corroborates your claim when you want to go back to work, that you have not just spent that time sleeping away or spend that time completely off grid. So you need to still be updating your profile and continue connecting with people. Number 2 is staying connected with people in your industries. I don't think it can be that bad that you don't have one person, one professional associate that you can keep talking to. You do this for different reasons. To have kind of a line back, right? If you're getting updated about what is going on, you will likely be more inspired to work on ways to get back when the time comes. And to also, so it will be like source of information, source of inspiration. You get to know the new thing that is happening in your industry. Now, the third part that I would suggest is also to document your journey, which is one of the things that I am doing right now. This is why I'm here. I'm documenting my journey, and because I'm figuring things out every day. I've done a very deep self evaluation. I feel like I know what I am doing, but also I am discovering more, and I'm very open to discovering more about myself. So I am stepping out of my comfort zone. It's been fun. So I will encourage, if you have any pet projects like that, if you've always wanted to write a blog, or always wanted to create content on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, that can be the time to do it. You've got nothing to lose at that time, because you are not under any pressure to satisfy anybody, to be scripted, I think. And also, you are not on deadline or whatever. You're just taking it as it goes. And that is something really refreshing. Break comes to an end, you need to start planning your re entry or your comeback. I would say most people, when they are ready to come, they have gained some clarity about their life or what they want their career to be. So it will be easy to plan, right? But then one thing that is very daunting there is what we saw in our last video, those figures about the fact that, yeah, employers are not really open to career break. You can actually become a sought after even before you are ready. If you took my advice from the first part of the video, where I said you should stay relevant, you should stay visible, you won't have that problem, because employers are seeing you, colleagues are seeing you, people, managers, decision makers, they are seeing you, and they are seeing how you're growing. They are following your journey. Assume your career break was so long. Let's say you waited until your kids started going to school or entered high school before you think of going back. One thing I would advise at this stage is for you to position yourself based on your skill at that point, not based on your experience, because your experience might have been really outdated. The companies you worked for, them might not even be in business anymore. Hopefully they are, but the experience might not be that impressive anymore. However, what you know how to do, let's say you have learned new skills, you've created some portfolio, you've done some freelancing, you've done some volunteer work during this career break, it will be easy for you to highlight. Like, for instance, if you want to prepare your resume to go back, you can prepare a skill based resume instead of an experience based resume. And that puts you better it in front of whoever is looking at the resume than create an employment based or an experience based resume, and then there is all these years in which you were just doing your own thing, right? So consider that you're close to your reentry at this point that you're watching this video, and there are some things you had not done and you're feeling anxious. I will tell you one thing: you deserve everything that you desire. The position that you desire and you feel qualified for, you deserve it. Taking a career break is a courageous decision that can lead to profound clarity and growth. If you are considering it, remember, this is not a step back. You are stepping into a better version of yourself. Let me know in the comment section if this resonates with you in any way. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Instagram if you want us to connect and discuss if you are on this journey with me. And don't forget to hit subscribe button, like the video, and share if you have a sister who might find this helpful. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.